Hi, I'm Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing another guitar maintenance video. We're going to be working on my other guitar, my Femme Fatale Elvira. It's my #1 guitar that I teach with. And we're going to be switching out the bridge on that guitar, switching out the bridge. So this is my beautiful guitar Elvira. I've had her forever. And what I'm going to do is switch out the bridge because this piece right here that holds the tremolo, it broke. And now it doesn't hold the tremolo, so I need to, in order to fix it, I have to take this all out because I have to get it from the back. So I got my student Kevin to help me with that. So thank you very much, Kevin, appreciate that. So I'm gonna shoot this quick little video, show you how I'm gonna take this out and replace it. Now the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to take off the strings. Now if you don't know how to take out the strings on these, I would highly recommend just watch a video on that. I'm going to take the strings off of the top of here, and then I'm going to disconnect it from here, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, now here's a picture of the back plate. I got Elvira on there, as you can see. That's why I call her Elvira. So what I'm going to do is take out these screws right here, take out the back plate, and you'll see the springs that are holding the bridge. All right, so if you have a floating tremolo, whether it be like on a Fender Strat, well, Fender Strat's not really a floating tremolo. It is a tremolo, just not floating. But as you can see, you got springs in the back that are pulling the bridge in the back. And in the front, you have the strings that are pulling it in the front. And the difference between like a regular tremolo, like a Fender, and a floating tremolo is a floating tremolo is cut into the body like this that allows you to make the bridge go back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to take the strings off the front, take the springs off the back, and then the bridge will come out. Now when you take these strings off of the tremolo, I would highly recommend having something underneath it here. I just put this plate underneath it. Probably good to put like a rag or something underneath it. I didn't really do that. I would recommend doing that if you decide to change your strings on these kind of bridges. But just don't let it fall into the cavity if you're just changing the strings. Now I wasn't concerned with it falling into the cavity because I'm going to replace the bridge with the other one, but if I was just changing out the strings, I would have something underneath this to where this stabilizes this, and then it'll make it easier to get back in tune. So if you ever change your strings on a tremolo, especially in a floating tremolo, make sure you have something underneath it to keep it like where it normally is in playing position. And then that way when you do out the strings and retune it, it'll be a lot easier. All right, as you can see, I've taken the strings off. And the way you do it, just in case you're not too familiar with the way these work, is that the strings come in here and they have a little block right here. And that's what clamps the string. It's called a double locking system. And this screw right here screws in to this little block and it clamps the string in place. And so with these kind of bridges, you want to clip off that little ball end, put the string into this slot, and this little block here is what holds it in place by this screw, so that you got to unscrew this and tighten it and to get the string out or get the string back in, okay? And that's what I just did, was doing that. Now, in order to get the springs out, they're held in by these two screws right here, as you can see. So what I'm doing is I'm loosening these screws right here. And as you can see, it's pulling, this is called the claw right here, and it's pulling the claw back to relieve tension off the springs. And then you take that spring tension off there, and then you can pop the springs, and then the bridge will just come out. And this is your ground wire right here. As you can see, I've taken the springs out, and now the bridge is just gonna pop out. See, as you can see now, I'm able to just take the bridge out right there. So what holds it in place in the front is these two in the front here, and it's the springs that hold it in the back. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch it out for the other bridge. All right, now the whole reason why I switched out this bridge is because this thing right here broke, okay? If you look at this little slot right here, there's a spring that goes here that holds the whammy bar in place. And it broke as well. And this is a different one I got out of one of my other guitars, but it didn't have the spring, and there's a little screw down here that holds it in place. And so for the longest time, I couldn't really get the tremolo bar to stay in there. It would kind of pop out. So I would just put some tape on it. But what happened is this is my other one. I'll show you that in another video. But what happened is this thing is what holds your tremolo bar and what happened is it broke, okay? As you can kind of see, I'm unscrewing this trying to hold the camera at the same time I'm doing it, so sorry if you see a lot of my hand here. But okay, as you can see, that's what holds your tremolo bar, is this thing here. Okay, and what happened is it broke. This is, and I'll show you that in a second. And so I had to kind of get it redone, and I had my student and friend Kevin help me with that. So let me show you the other one. All right, so here's the one that actually broke. As you can see, it kind of broke on the threads, and so you can't really fix that. And so, and then here is the spring that I was telling you about. Oh, nope, this doesn't have it. No, it's not this one that has it. Yeah, here it is. This is the one that broke. Sorry, I got a couple of them. As you can see, that spring, and when you pop the tremolo bar in there, that's what holds it in place. So if that spring breaks, if you have one of these and you notice that your tremolo bar is not staying in there like it's supposed to. They have different bridges, and this particular one, it just kind of pops in and pops out. Some of them screw in, but if you have one that pops in and pops out, this is an old one from like the 90s, and it's not doing that anymore, it's very possible this little spring broke, and that's what happened to my older one. You know, just playing it over the years, popping the tremolo in and out all the time like I do, it caused that spring to break. So now I'm trying to get it fixed to something better. All right, here is the new one, okay. Got that taken care of, had Kevin fixing this. You can see this one's got a little bit different of a spring situation here. And the way it works is you pop the tremolo in there and that little spring holds it in place. Let's see if I can show you that here on the video. Okay, so the way it works is you take your tremolo arm and you pop it in there like this. And that spring is what holds it in place, and then it comes out. And so that was the problem I was having with the other one, is that first of all, the spring broke, so it wasn't staying in place. And then once the housing itself broke in half, then, you know, so as you can see, here's one right here, and then here's the one that broke. As you can see that. So now I'm gonna eventually, what I'm gonna do is take these two parts and put them on this one, because this one's good, and then I'll put this back in that other bridge. And then I got this one for this bridge. I'm gonna put this bridge in here, okay? All right, as you can see, I finally got that bridge in there. It's a little bit different than the other one. So this is the old one that I had in there. And this one's just, as you can see, they're a little bit different, okay? I like this newer one because, well, it's not really new, but this is kind of an older one from another model. I've switched these bridges out many times from my guitars, but they're similar. It's just, as you can see, the screws here, they're here instead of sticking way out here like these ones are. So it's a little bit different model. It's called a Low Pro, and it's just, I kind of like the design of it better. So I'm going to put this bridge in there instead. All right, so now I've got the bridge in there and I've got the strings back on, and here's what it looks like in the back. See, there's the springs and stuff. There's the cloth that holds it all together. Got it all tuned up. Now all I need to do really is just put the plate on the back and clean up the tools and everything. But I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see the difference between these two. If you see this bridge, see how it's just like real sleek as you go straight back? Is where this bridge, if you can see this bridge, it kind of goes up like this, you know? So this one's kind of like an old, I don't know, muscle car bridge where everything, you know, is up in the back. And these, as you can see, the screws go through the bridge to clamp to the strings. Is where these ones, see how it's so slick, it just goes straight back. It's called a low profile. And instead of the bolts going all the way through and come out here in the back, they just are shortened here. So you can tell they just kind of redesigned it where they don't go through, and it's just a lot sleeker kind of sleeker kind of bridge. That's what I like about it. They're pretty much the same, but it's a sleeker type of bridge. And I got this part put in there now, so that pops in there and pops out, and it works great. So now it'll hold that in there now and then pop out when I need it. So now it's all working great. Last video here, I've got this bridge. I put this back in. As you can see, the way it functions, this little spring right here holds it, and that's held by this little screw right here. So if you have something like this in your guitar, it gets to the point where it's not, the tremolo bar this isn't, you know, staying in there like it should be. I used to think it was these bushings. I had to replace these bushings, but actually it's not the bushings, it's the spring. So you put this in here like this, and it's that little spring right there that keeps it in there, you know. That little spring attaches to this little groove right here. You see this little groove right there, and that's what keeps it in place. So now, here's the one that broke. As you can see, this is the one that broke right here. So I'm gonna toss that. And then I got this one off of one of my other guitars, and I put that in there. So now that's all ready to go. I got a nice Ibanez Edge bridge. Tell it's Ibanez Edge. This one is cool. It's still as good as the other one. It's just, you know, it's a little bit different design. But I don't have a guitar for it yet. But maybe one day I'll find a guitar I can put it in, or if one of my other bridges fail, I can use this as a backup. All right, so there we have it. I finally got the bridge all put back in. This is the new bridge that I mentioned. I like this one because it's a little more sleek. It's called a low profile bridge. They're actually making them even more lower profile than this now, but this is kind of an older one. I like this one. It's smoke chrome. See, what I like about the floating tremolo is you can bring it back and raise the pitch, you know? So you go forward with the tremolo, like a Fender tremolo. You can go forward, lower the pitch, which is cool, you know? But what I like about the floating tremolo is you can raise the pitch. Makes some really cool sounds like that, you know what I mean? All right, so there we got it. Hopefully, hope you learned something there. Be leery of this thing right here that holds your whammy bar in. If it gets to where your whammy bar is not fitting in, you know, not staying in like it's supposed to, it could be that little spring that broke. So check that out. You can find that. Just take off the back plate and you'll be able to see it, okay? And then you might have to replace that or replace the whole mechanism like I had to do. And I want to say thank you, Kevin, for fixing that for me. I really appreciate it. He had to do some stuff to get that working for me. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you much for being here. Be sure to like the video, hit the bell for future notifications. And if you have any questions about anything, feel sure to let me know. You can contact me on my website at dwaynesguitarlessons.com. Keep practicing every day. Keep it maintained for ultimate performance. And until our next lesson, you take care.